Family. We are back. I want to thank everybody for being here. I really do. It means so much. We're getting the channel back up together, and thank you guys. I owe it to y'all. Now, I want to talk about something. This oath, Mr. Cosby. There's been an update in the situation, y'all, and it is totally unfair. So we're going to review and react to some clips, and we're going to hold a discussion. Let's get to the content.
Let's get high, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's live life, live once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh for sure it's about to go up. Let's get high, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's live life, live once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh for sure it's about to go up. Roll my blunt and pass my lights up.
All right, now we're gonna review and react to some clips. This first clip, listen, y'all. Bro is talking his talk. I want you guys to really pay attention to what he says and the examples and everything like that. And yeah. What do you guys think about my Katt Williams videos and about him being a double agent? I read the comments and they're very, very interesting. You might think different after checking out these clips. Let's get to the content.
During this show, he talks about the fact that Earthquake, a comedian, couldn't read, that he was illiterate. What does that have to do with anything? Again, if they're on that show, like he expressed that Earthquake was on that show before, if they're on that show, that means they belong to these people. No one's ever thinking like, damn, why did he start naming all these black comedians? Did you ever think that, damn, this is a New Year's ritual? Did you ever think like, oh, this must be a year that it's time for their embarrassment ritual to happen so that everybody gets called out? No one thinks about that. You guys literally do not understand that in order to be in these secret societies, you have to give up something. It's usually is what they like for you to give up. You wear a dress. You humiliate yourself, which means anything about your baby mama, or you get arrested, catch felonies, or so forth, that adds into the embarrassment ritual. Your family members, blood sacrificing is usually the top two things that people go to, because it ensures that you're going to be wealthy, that you're going to be taken care of, because it lets Satan know you are not aligning yourself with the Most High's commandments.
Now, bro has said a mouthful. Pause. When I was younger, I was really like into movies, and I would notice that whenever there was a main star of a movie, I would notice there would be some type of controversy around their name, especially like a loss of existence, wink wink. But I'm just like, wow, why almost every time a person's coming out with something, they lose something? And when I was 14, my dad had started talking about these type things to me, and it didn't make a lot of sense at the time, but over time it resonated more and more and more. You have to give to receive. You got to feed the beast if you want to get some benefits from the beast. But when you're locked in, you're locked in. A lot of people say it's a 30-year plan. Hell, look at what they're doing to Mr. Cosby. We're going to get into that next. Let me let this man cook real quick.
That's how you worship Satan. It's through those 3 or 4 things. So he brought out the fact that Earthquake couldn't read. Okay, that's the truth that y'all go running and whoring over? Because he does this pose? Who do you think he belongs to? And one of his biggest beefs in this interview was with this clown. Their biggest beef was 15, 20 years ago. Maybe even more. Because I don't know when Friday After Next even came out. And his biggest thing to show his comedic value and pull was that he could get another man in a contract to wear a dress. Where I don't even think that's true, because he's gonna wear a dress regardless, because he's a Prince or Freemason by now, through Omega Sci-Fi. So they'll all end up doing it, just like Shaq end up wearing a dress. That's why LeBron ended up wearing a dress. All of them are connected to Boule or Prince or Freemasonry have put on a dress. Some of them.
A lot of our quote unquote greats have put on a dress. But it's something about Shaq, y'all, that I feel like is going to be like one of the biggest head busters. Shaq does a lot of things that are very questionable. I mean, I don't want to get too far into it, but Shaq likes a certain type of girl, allegedly. And he doesn't mind at all. But I feel like he's going to have a really interesting downfall. He has too much alleged affiliation with members, and then he's supposed to be a sheriff and all these things. I feel like somebody's going to come out and have some stories. I really do. But let me let this man cook. Now, listen to what bro says about when Ricky Smiley was called out. I'm not sure if Earthquake. No, I think it was he's speaking about when Katt called him out. But he's talking about how Katt was trying to talk this intellectual stuff when in all actuality they were arguing about who could be the biggest clown in the movie. Make it make sense. But check this out, y'all. Check this out. He said he's speaking on Katt saying all these things about Ricky, but leaving this part out. Check it out.
And you seem to forget. He went through this whole interview talking about Ricky Smiley, but did not mention the fact that Ricky Smiley blood sacrificed his own child to have that pissant radio show and to have that little bit of acting career. I'm not going to go into the numerology, but Brandon in numerology is 32 in reduction. That means they already been planning his death.
I hate to announce this. I just want to give it to you before you hear it in the streets. My son, Brandon Smiley, passed away this morning. I'm on my way to the airport. Pray for me. I don't have an appetite, but I feel bad for Miss Nichols up in Memphis. I feel bad for all the parents that have ever been through this. Just never thought I would be a member of an organization where you have to bury your kid.
I gotta side with bro on this, and let me say, everything in this video is heavy on the alleged side. But the numbers, the numerology, what 32 broke down to, what Brandon broke down to, then a 2 times a 3. There are too many signs, numerically, in my opinion, and a lot of others' opinions, that a lot of these things aren't coincidence. And I really stand on that. I don't think a lot of these things are coincidence, y'all. And I like the way bro's formatting his speech or his commentary, because it's true. He's breaking these things down to the finest of molecules. Okay, he was out in Ricky Smiley, but their whole beef was over who can be the biggest clown. Come on, man. One was a P and one was supposed to be Santa Claus. And this is what they're arguing over, is grown black men.
People are like, oh, Bernie Mac is smiling down from heaven because Katt Williams defended him. He brought Bernie Mac out and put Bernie Mac on a pedestal and honored him. Bernie Mac, sad to say, was sacrificed through gematria. I seen the numbers. And through those numbers, Cedric the Entertainer is in the same numeric equation to Bernie Mac's death, just like D. Hell Hughley is in the same numeric path to Bernie Mac's sacrifice, and Steve Harvey is in the same numeric equation that lines up in gematria to Bernie Mac's sacrifice. So that means all three of them knew exactly what happened to Bernie Mac. That's why Katt Williams knows what happened to Bernie Mac, but he's been through all these Illuminati meetings and no mentioning of these satanic proselytes that work in that arena. They don't say nothing about who's sacrificing. They say nothing about who's human. They say nothing about who's children, but they going on and on and on about some pissant comedian about playing Santa Claus and I'm one that can't read and these three brothers.
Shout out to this dude. He's a great speaker. He does a great job conveying his point, and it's credible in my opinion. Have we heard Mr. Katt Williams speak about the island or Jeffrey, aka Palm Beach Pete, allegedly? But that's a real question. Have we heard that? I don't recall hearing it. I know he said, oh, there's going to be a lot of stuff that come to the light. A lot of stuff's going to come out. Whoa, 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 whoa. But in all actuality, aside the gossip, did this man really, did he really do his big one? Come on, man. Talk about them parties. Talk about them rituals. Talk about those certain type of rings that they have allegedly that some people talk about. It's out there. It's out there. It is out there. Now talk about it. Don't be Mr. Gossip Queen. Make it make sense, y'all.
All you gotta do is look at who they belong to. And then y'all act surprised these people get their careers all over the place, or something happens that you find out they cheat or copy something, because look who they belong to. Being in these societies, being under these oaths, being under Satan's thumb, you lose your credibility, you lose your creativity over time. It happens with the best of them. The more demonic they get, the more they lose their creativity, because they try to keep them demons off their flesh, and they don't know how to, because they're trapped. They have to borrow, imitate, and steal in order to be relevant. So this shouldn't even surprise any of you. And none of you thought, damn, how did they find the clip of designing women that fast? And within 24 hours of that interview, they were already posting it on social media of the joke he actually stole. So who had this information? You have never thought, like, damn, this is a real embarrassment ritual. So they had this on tap. They had this ready to go. So they all planned this for their embarrassment ritual. Because there's no way in the world somebody could find a clip of Cedric Entertainer's joke and line it up with designing women that hasn't been on TV, not even the reruns have been on Netflix, in order to find where that joke was.
All right, now, I'm not going to lie. It crossed my mind a few times, even watching the interview and thereafter watching the interview with Katt. It crossed my mind that maybe this all was a scheme. Maybe it all was one big ritual. Imagine what that interview did for these other people. Some people look at good publicity or bad publicity. I don't know why I can't say publicity, but they say bad publicity is even good publicity. I don't agree with that, but in this world, you know, they're different, allegedly. But if you don't vibe with these people, why would you want to even spew their name to spread light on them and give them attention from the other people who are going to be inquisitive and want to go look and see what you're talking about? They want to go see who these people are. If you really don't vibe with these people, why even say their names? Now, real quick before we get out of here, there's been an update with Bill Cosby, and it reads, update, jurors found Bill Cosby liable on Monday for the 1972 situation. A woman was awarded $19 million in past damages and future damages. Then in the second phase of the trial, they awarded an additional $40 million in punitive damages. Jury awards nearly $60 million to a woman. Why in the fuck ain't we got nothing about this list? Why in the hell ain't nobody getting paid from that situation? Make this make sense, because it's really pissing me off, the things that our people fall for. Make it make sense. Now, real quick, I just found it funny that 19 and then the 40, then they just go ahead and up it to 60. But check this out. 1 times 9, 9. 9 times 4, 36. Then we got that 60 million, and yeah. Make it make sense, y'all. Sorry for the language, but yeah, sorry, not sorry. I'm out. Peace.